Okay, so we're going to be talking about cutting out an egress window in a basement second suite. And sometimes it's going to be in the living room. Most of the time it's going to be in the living room. Sometimes in the bedroom. Sometimes it's both. Now, in addition to emergency egress, it's also incredibly important to have windows for natural lighting. Okay, that's part of the building code. Okay, so let's talk about some important considerations when you're cutting out a new window for of course, both egress and natural lighting, okay? So the first thing to consider is that if this window is gonna be very large and it's gonna go below grade, okay? In this case here, it didn't actually go below grade, but if it goes below grade, you have to have a window well on the outside. That needs to be dug out and it needs to be drained all the way to the weeping tile. The other thing to consider is that if this window is very low, you can potentially lower the frost line, which means frost can get under the footing and that can cause structural issues. So you generally want to keep around 4 feet between the floor to the bottom of that sill, okay? At least 4 feet. And then the other thing to consider is the lintel, okay? That's the support above the window. And of course that holds up the structure when you're cutting out a new opening, whether that's a door or a window. And depending on the type of construction of the house, it's going to be a different type of lintel, okay? So it may be a wood frame home with siding. It may be a wood framed home with brick veneer on the outside, or it may be a solid brick home. Depending on the type of construction, you may need a wooden lintel or a metal lintel or a combination of the two. All right, so that covers opening up a brand new window. I'm gonna shift over here and talk to you guys about an existing window. So in some cases, it may be okay just to enlarge an existing window. Okay, so if you're enlarging an existing window, same things to consider. Now, it's going to be a lot easier if you're enlarging this existing window and bring it lower, because then you don't have to do anything with the structure above. But of course, if you're bringing it lower, consider the grade on the outside. Do you need a window well? Is it going so low that it's going to affect the frost line? Okay, so that's something that you definitely need to consider, but that's generally easier than widening the window. All right, so overall, we think it's a really good investment to enlarge existing windows, add new windows. There is, of course, additional costs, and in a lot of cases, it's not cheap, but it does really, brighten the place up, and it doesn't make it feel as much like a basement suite. So again, that's something that you probably want to consider, having a lot of windows on your project. Thank you so much for watching our video. We have a brand new garden suite guide, how to add one to your property. You can download a copy right now for free if you go to www.suiteeditions.com. We cover a ton of stuff you need to know if you want to start building these to create more housing and wealth at the same time. There's also a list of resources that we've identified that you can use. Download your copy now for free at www.suiteeditions.com.